Let's get it.
Hey, welcome back to the channel. It's Bryan with DD214 Transport. Please like, subscribe, hit the little bell for notifications. I know it's been a minute since we've been here, but in all actuality, I've been like a one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. It has been busy. What we're going to talk about today is we've got a ton of stuff to unpack from, I'm not a political voice, but we do have some things that are affecting us politically. We're going to unpack what's been going on for the last few weeks. And yeah, we're going to get back into it tonight and see what we have going on. All right, so before we get too far, I want to add this to the stage. The lease on information or dispatch information for Iggy 6 or DD214. We are leasing on at the moment and will continue to lease on through September, and then we shut it down for the year. Qualifications for leasing on, I get asked this a lot, so I thought I'd address it right off the bat today, is no, you do not have to be a veteran or first responder to lease on with us. However, you do, or we do, cater to them because we're like in kind. We're a brotherhood. And if you are in need of a safe space, then we're probably not the outfit for you. So understanding that going into it, if you have or want to explore that option, go to dd214transport.com and fill out the lease on sheet, and I will get back to you. All right, so before we go too far, let's go ahead. We're going to thank our veterans and first responders for all they do and all they continue to do for this country. I will tell you now that we would not be the country we are without them. So thank all of you for all you do. Fuel prices are down to an average of $3.13.3. Just had a driver in California tell me that he was paying $5 a gallon out there, but that's 0.08 of a cent less than it was last week at this time. News: Trump executive order requires that all CDL drivers be proficient in English. Now, don't know what you think about Trump. And again, we're not a political outfit here, but I think this is a good move because if you cannot read or speak English, there's no way for you to read a traffic sign or anything else. That should be a minimum requirement to have a CDL. Now, proficiency in English, which has now been designated as our official in his executive order 14 Can you see me now? Can you hear me now? Refresh your screen. I'm showing that I'm here. So I'm going to move on. I don't know if you can see me or not, but anyway, English has been designated our official language, and it's a non-negotiable safety requirement as a professional driver. The OOIDA, President Todd Spencer said in a statement that basic English skills are essential for reading critical road signs, understanding emergency instructions, and interacting with law enforcement. I don't know what you guys can think about all this, but I think it's a good thing personally. That's just my personal opinion for the industry. All right. News. CVSA International Road Check set for May 13th through the 15th. Guys, they're going to be all over every CMB. They did 50,000 road checks last year. They're going to do them again this year. Okay, so we've got to be on top of the game. Get in there. Make sure that your equipment's up to snuff. Your ELD's up to snuff. So here it is. And you guys remember how this works. Not only are they going to be looking at your truck, your trailer, your logs, they're also going to be looking at your load securement, your straps, everything involved in making that load safe. Okay. So let's be on top of our game. Over 15,000 drivers' medical certificate were declared invalid by the FMCSA. Guys, going to these sketchy ass doctors to pass your medical exam will catch up with you. It did for 15,000 drivers out of Houston. On Thursday, the FMCSA voided 15,225 medical certificates issued by two Houston chiropractors, Dr. Jenny Lee and Dustin Mai, on from March 2023 to March 2025, an action that affected 15,225 commercial motor vehicle drivers. They nixed them. Arkansas news. Listen to this, guys. Arkansas has now passed a law that fines the driver $500 if they cannot speak English proficiently. So not only are they going to be put out of service, but now if you get hit with it in Arkansas, you're going to be fined $500. In Arkansas as well, if a motor carrier hands control to a commercial motor vehicle, they can be fined $10,000 for providing a commercial motor vehicle to an ineligible operator. So now if you don't speak English, you're an ineligible operator. You do not have qualifications to drive a commercial motor vehicle. All right, look at this. Pictures of the week. I do believe that is Robert's load right there. I did not list these guys. I'm sorry. I forgot to list down beside them whose load they were, but I think that was Robert's. I know that's John's because that's the first load. I was actually on this load with John, and those loads are, these are blocks. They're built out of 20-foot containers, but they're office modules that went to the golf course, the pro golf course here in Charlotte. We were picking them up and dragging them in here. So we got that. That's Robert there. That's actually Robert's load today. I think he's under that load right now. And that's styrofoam roofing panels. I'm not sure whose that is, but that is a bunch of those mini rollers. Mini excavator, I believe that's Richard's. And that's John's. No, that's Yen. Funny story about this load on Yen. Let me throw this at you real quick. So Yen is the newest driver we brought in. He spells his name Jan in my language as Jan, but from where he's from, they pronounce it Yen. He's what did he say he was from? The Netherlands, over through there. Anyway, long story short, I cut him loose after his training. We're going down the road, and my phone rings, and it's my son. And he said, "Dad," he said, "I'm working a rollover down here." And he said, "I just happened to look up, and I saw a DD214 truck." And I said, "Oh, no shit." I said, "Where are you working at?" He said, "On 77." I said, "Oh, that's Yen." I said, "He was down in Columbia picking up a load." And so anyway, we just laughed about it and went on. I called Yen up and I said, "Hey, you know that rollover accident you drove by?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Do you see that state trooper looking at you?" And he was like, "Yeah." He said, he scared me. He just kept staring me down. I thought something was wrong. So anyway, I get a kick out of that kind of stuff. I'm a sick pup. But anyway, so that's the story behind that load. All right. So under the hood. Well, guess what, guys? We took a moment over Easter vacation and we did our honeymoon. And we went down to Jamaica and I got shade burnt to death. All kidding aside, it was gorgeous. No, I felt no heat. Was under an awning, and I burnt to a crisp. So, yeah. So there's a couple pictures of where we stayed. It's a beautiful place down there. That's us out at dinner. So we'll get off the personal stuff now and go back to lost a turbo in the 5500. Yes, we'll come back. 5500, blew a turbo. Took about 2 weeks to get the part in, fix it. So while we were doing that, and by the way, that was an $8,000 fix just for the turbo replacement. It was a dealer replacement item. I took it to the dealer because I got a 2-year warranty on it. Parts and labor, so I did that. But still, the truck was down for 2 weeks. I had Robert in a hotel for 2 weeks. It's just that the expense just racks up on this stuff when you're down. So you got to be prepared for that. Now, here's a business lesson for you, real quick. There's so much to unpack tonight. It's crazy, but because I preach to put money back every week. Every single week, I put money back for these trucks. And because I do that, this $8,000 hit, it didn't hurt me. I mean, it made me whine like a little winch, and I was truly whining. And I did for a couple days after they told me what it was going to cost. But you got $8,000 in the fix. You got another $2,000 in hotels. Got another couple grand in pay. You see how it works? And then you start adding your downtime to that. You figure $1,000 a day, just as off the top of your head, you're out 14,000 just in that. So, it was a pretty large hit. But again, the money was there in the escrow to fix that. So I pulled the money out of the escrow, wrote him a check. Robert's on the road, says the truck's running great. Please let it keep running great. Put a lot of money in that truck this year. So hopefully it'll keep running great. So that's the turbo issue. OOS. Let's go back here a minute. All right. So recently we've had 2 OOSs, and that's out of service. Okay. One OOS, one out of service, could have been found with a proper pre-trip. It was a leaking seal. And this is something I want you guys to realize, is that when you have a problem and you fix that problem, that doesn't mean that you stop looking for that problem. Okay. And this particular driver, had just replaced this seal. So he got lackadaisical and didn't do a proper pre-trip. Didn't take his flashlight, shoot up in there and look for leaks. This is an everyday thing, guys. Every day before you get in your truck, you look for leaks. These weren't bad leaks. He was looking at the front oil gauge on the hub as a crutch, but there was enough leak there that he got put out of service. So again, proper pre-trips. You can fix this stuff easily from a parking lot. It's a whole different animal when you get placed out of service. It goes on the driver's record and it goes against us. It goes against us for 2 years. It goes on the driver's record for 3. So understand that a proper pre-trip is critical to what we do, because it's easier to fix there than it is to be sitting alongside of the road. Okay. All right. Here's the big no-no. We have an improper use of personal conveyance. Okay. Now, this wasn't a malicious improper use of personal conveyance. This was a logging error that bit him in the ass. I'll give you the story. Once the story's over, I would like to know what you guys think in the comments. But here's what happened. The driver was parked in a space at a pilot. They asked him to move. He already went off duty. They asked him to move because that was a reserved spot for somebody else. So he moved. And when he moved, he went on personal conveyance. And he moved several miles up the road. All right. So here's the problem. Here's the 100% of the problem. It's not what he did. It's how he did it. Okay. So when you're on personal conveyance, when you're off duty, okay, you go off duty, your 10-hour clock automatically starts running. All right. So let's say, for example, this driver was laying there for an hour. So his 10 hours is now to 9. He went to personal conveyance and went to look for another parking spot. Okay. Number 1, that is not personal conveyance. Okay. That's on duty driving. Even if you're 11 hours or up, that is on duty driving. You have to log that because your 10 hours will restart once you go off duty 5 miles down the road or whatever. Okay. So running personal conveyance, if you're not coming back to the exact spot where you just took off, you're falsifying your logs. And that's what he was wrote up for, not improper use. It was falsifying the logs. Because again, it's not what he did, it's how he did it. The fact that he had to move, he had to move from where he was sitting, okay? It's going to happen with the parking situations that we have out there. That kind of stuff's going to happen. But he should have logged that as on-duty driving. Then when he got to his next spot, he would have went off duty. Even if it's over his 11, he would have logged that as safe harbor, forced to move from pilot. Okay? At that point, when you go off duty, your 10 hours then starts again. You cannot use personal conveyance for this kind of stuff, guys. When they see it, they can go back 6 months. Okay, right there on your ELD, they can go back 6 months and look at your logs. And if they're seeing that kind of stuff, you will get put out of service or you'll be written up. Now, I did get a letter from the Ohio State Department of Transportation where he was not financially penalized. And that's great for him. Okay. But the problem is it's on his record for 2 years. And it is a ugly mark on your record when you see falsifying logs. That is a terrible mark. Okay, it's a terrible mark against us when you get wrote up for falsifying logs. It's unacceptable. Guys, if you're not sure, call somebody that knows. Call your compliance officers. My guys, call me. But don't move that truck under personal conveyance when you're moving for a business purpose. Don't do it. You know, it's just not. All right. So, do I need a CDL to pull this trailer? Let me tell you what's happening out there. And we're going to talk about this for a minute. And I would love to know what your remarks are. But the rulings have changed now. It started in California and it's moved to just about, I think, every place in the United States now. Not everywhere. Depends on what state you're registered in, because everybody else has reciprocity. But listen, if the tow vehicle lacks a manufacturer assigned GCWR, no truck has a GCWR stamped on it. None of them. Okay. A Class A is required if the combined weight of the tow rig and the trailer or load exceeds 20,000 pounds. Okay. That's 26,000 pounds. But here's where everybody's getting caught up in this, guys. And the trailer's GVWR, you know, it used to be you could have 14,000 on the truck, 12,000 on the trailer, and that's 26, and that would work. But it says, and the trailer's GVWR is more than 10,000 pounds. I'm telling you this, 2 years ago, they've been trying to get rid of these non-CDLs, and this is how they're doing it. Okay, 10,000 pounds. So if you got a 40-foot trailer and it's 9,000 pounds, you can see you can't haul very much weight. Okay, and then down here it says generally you need a commercial driver's license, CDL, if you are towing a trailer with a gross vehicle weight rating of over 10,000 pounds, and the combined gross combination weight rating of the tow vehicle and the trailer is over 26,000. See, they separate them now. They're now saying if your trailer has a GVWR of 10,000 pounds or more, you got to have a CDL. Okay, they're writing them all day long here, all day long. We've seen tons of people getting written up right here in North Carolina for it. And they've been doing it now for a couple of years. Okay. And now they've even started down to like just the people who are in trust state, like the electrical companies and these small mom and pop plumbing companies that's hauling equipment. If their trailer rating is 10,001 pounds or more, they're forcing them to get a CDL. So be aware of that. Okay. All right. Leaving the scene of an accident. I had a person I know got himself in a bad situation with a GPS. Okay. When he called me, he said, I knew I was in trouble, but I kept going. And if you don't know the first rule of this thing, guys, the minute you're unsure, the minute you're not sure about something, you stop. Stop. It's easier to back up 100 feet than it is to back up 3 miles. Okay? You stop, you get your bearings, you understand what is happening. Don't just follow those GPSs blind. Okay? So what happened was this guy pulls down into a neighborhood, takes a hard left, runs through people's yard, then takes a hard right. And according to him, he did not know that his trailer swing caught a car. And to make a long story short, he kept driving. So he went through the yard, had 10,000 pound trailer with 10,000 pounds on the deck. All right. Excuse me. So he tore up the yard, and then there's a great possibility he didn't feel that trailer swing clip that car. All right. It is. However, guys, what the problem here was, he didn't stop. He didn't stop and knock on the, first of all, he didn't stop when he knew he was in trouble. Second, he didn't stop when he ran through the yard. Third, if he'd have stopped when he ran through the yard, he may not have hit the car. So now, as he left the scene, he has hit and run property damage. Now, things that can happen in a hit and run property damage is you can absolutely be criminally charged. Leaving the scene of an accident can lead to criminal charges, potentially ranging from a misdemeanor to felonies, depending on the severity of the accident and the state laws that you're in. Okay? I mean, this is some serious shit here. And think about this. Think about, this guy was caught and called by the sheriff, not because of the police got in behind him, because the people come home, saw the damage, went to all the cameras and picked his truck up on all the cameras. You have to realize, guys, nothing you can do out there is going to go unseen. Okay? So if you have a problem, you need to get on the phone with somebody. Now, the penalties can include jail time, fines, a suspension or revocation of your driver's license, especially for commercial drivers. Okay, leaving the scene of an accident, you will be barred from this community. Nobody will hire you. Not only does it show poor judgment and integrity, but it shows the fact that you can't be trusted with the equipment. All right, civil lawsuits. The victim of an accident can file a civil lawsuit against the driver, potentially the trucking company, to recover damages for the property, medical expenses, lost wages, and other losses. Trucking company liability. Trucking companies can be held liable for the actions of their drivers, even if the drivers fled the scene under a legal doctrine. Okay? So, if you are involved in an accident where a CMV driver leaves the scene, okay, this is something they're telling the general public. It is crucial to contact law enforcement immediately and provide as much information as possible, including vehicle's description, license plates, and any witnesses. They had this driver on camera, several cameras. All right, FMCSA involvement. You can also, so the general public can also report this incident to the Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, which regulates commercial truck drivers and companies. And they may investigate the driver's compliance with safety regulations. Okay, and it goes on to where they can hire private investigators and file other claims. But guys, don't leave the scene of the accident. I mean, it sucks when stuff like this happens, but in the long run, it's just going to kill you. I mean, you'll end up losing your license over this foolishness. So that's what we got. So I want to go over here and say, hey, can I go say, hey, Miss Miller? Hey, Steve Welch, Arizona man. Robert, we got Rodney and Jay Bryce. Rod and Joey Bryce. I'm so sorry. Good to see you guys here. We got Richard McClendon, Chris. Yeah. So we got questions or comments anybody want to make? Couple things I want to bring up real quick. If you're looking for trailers, be sure you know what axles are under the trailers. One thing we've ran across in recent months is the Leopard axles, although generally as good as Dexter, they're all about the same. But we ran into a snag with the Leopard, because Lippert really doesn't have any outlets. For example, if I need a Dexter part, I can go to Dexter about an hour away and pick it up, bring it back, and fix it. No big deal. And they have great stock up there. Problem is, Leopard doesn't have those outlets. And we got one driver who's been down for over a week with a brand new trailer that the hub actually caught on fire, and they still don't have his parts. The other one, which is here, Richard's here, he has the same issue about getting the parts, but they tell you that it's going to be 2 to 5 days to ship after you place the order. Okay, so it's 2 to 5 days to ship, and it's 5 days to get here. That's 10 days, guys. So I think that I wish they would do something with that. That's what I'm saying. Is that 2 to 5 days to ship, and then shipping time that's a lot of time for a down truck, for a down trailer. So be aware of that when you're shopping for trailers. Be sure what type of axles are running. We could find parts locally pretty much for the small Lippert trailers, 7K and down. You can find those pretty much anywhere. But where you're having problems with these 12, 15K axles, people just don't carry those parts. Excuse me. Okay, so I got to leave this part of it. There we go. So we got comments, questions? Yeah, who we got? Just my personal opinion, but these laws all need to be rewritten. The capability of the vehicle trailer is irrelevant. What matters is the weight of the load you are towing. In theory, you literally need to have a CDL to have a 450 towing a 3-axle empty trailer. Yeah, well, here's the thing. It's not the fact that you're towing an empty trailer, it's what you can put on that trailer. You may only be, Chris, you may only be towing an empty trailer today, but you're not towing an empty trailer to stay empty. So the rules are made so that people who shouldn't be towing stuff, this is all safety thing. It's to keep Bubba Booey out there from running out and buying a trailer, derating it down. They've tried all this, man, and it's not worked. I think they said that 90% of the OOS out of service orders are hotshots. People running that don't know what they're doing, that are not safe. If you guys do not know, one thing we preach around here is safety altogether. Speeding, load securement, regulations, ELD, all that stuff. And we make it very clear before anybody comes on that if you're looking to think this is, Cowboy Nation and run out and just run rip shot, you're not going to do it. I see everything that happens. Okay. I get reports every day. Who's speeding, who's not speeding, who's got the highest safety score. So these are the things that you have to understand that safety is the name of the game. You know, I tell you guys, first legal, got to make you legal, because if you're not legal, you can't be on the road. Then you got to be safe. And then we can make a profit. But if you're not those first two, you'll never be the third. I guarantee it. Chris, thanks for your comment. I appreciate it. Mr. Roger, hello, sir. I saw one of the DD214s in Jacksonville, Florida, a while back, and at that time I was driving for TMC. It's nice seeing you guys. Hey, man, we're glad to have you around. TMC is a good company to work for. I mean, you learned a lot there. If you're still running for them, that's cool, but that's a good school down there. I appreciate the comment. All right, Richard McClendon, can you explain sleeper split time? If I get a DO sleeper, can I split my 14-hour clock, say, while waiting on traffic to clear? Well, here's the thing. Can you, if you have a DOT sleeper? Yes, you can split your clock. You can take an 8-hour break, and then I think you drive for 3, and then you can take a 2-hour break, something like that. We'll have to look it up, because most of the guys don't run split sleeper, so it never comes up. But yeah, I mean, you can always go off duty and save your 70 while you're waiting on the traffic to clear up. But when you go into DOT sleeper, you literally have to be in the sleeper. You can't be in the front seat. Okay. And you got to be in there for that 8 hours. You can't be out dicking around. You got to go to bed. That's what it's for. All right. Question? All good? Yeah. Well, look, guys, we have a lot to unpack. I've had a lot of people reach out, and I truly appreciate them reaching out and saying, hey, where you been? But all kidding aside, I have absolutely been crazy. It's, I mean, for those of you that know Robert, you can ask Robert. It's been crazy around here. We brought in new guys that were because we start leasing on about February, and we lease on till September. But we've had a bunch of new guys come on. We've had downloads. We've rescued 2 loads in the past couple of weeks from downed equipment. Trailer, brand new axle, caught on fire. Can you imagine that? But shit like this is going to happen. And, you know, it's not if it's going to happen, it's just when it's going to happen. And staying on top of your maintenance, staying on top of your pre-trips. One other thing, too, is if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I got one driver that's constantly fucking with his gear, and he's constantly fucking down because he won't leave shit alone. Got to leave it alone, man. If it ain't broke, I'm not fixing it. When it breaks, I fix it, and I fix it right. But when it's not broke, I am not fixing it. So that's my word of that. Any other questions? We got one? Okay, what you got? Steve Welch, when should you consider advised weather on the ELD? When can you? Oh, okay. So adverse weather. All right. So adverse weather comes into play. Here's the thing. You cannot drive into a storm knowingly and then use adverse weather. You have to not know the storm's coming. A flood happens, a flash flood washes out a road. You can deal with it there. But if you drive into, for example, a snowstorm, knowing that it's a snowstorm, you cannot use the adverse weather on your ELD. So other than that, leave it alone. Don't do it. It's to get you out of a bad situation when you didn't know you were being stupid driving into it, basically. So, yeah, we're good. All good. Hope everybody's doing well. I'm sorry it's been so long, but like I said, I've had a lot of people reach out. It's like it takes. I spent most of the day today working on this little program, and between that and working on a trailer and getting a guy through downtown DC, I was on the map, and he was on. I was watching him on the ELD, and I was just telling him what turn to take where. It was a day. It is absolutely a day. Mila's over there like a one-legged lady in an ass kicking contest. We're all just busy as hell. So I hate that. I've let up on my duty here, but I'm not even going to say we'll be back next week. We'll be back as soon as we can. If anybody's got anything for me, I'll take open topics at this point. I was going through Atlanta, and the skies were decent. Then I got right in the middle of Atlanta, and the freeway was underwater about 4 to 6 inches water. Nobody was moving. Yes, you could have used it there. Absolutely. Yep. But you can't use adverse drive if you're on duty driving. You have to wait until you run out of regular time to use it. So you can't use it to extend. You can use it if you hit your 11-hour point or your 14-hour point. You might be able to use it to get to the next safe harbor. Okay, you're not going to be able to use it just to keep driving. You got to get through the problem, get somewhere to rest, and stop. This is not a freebie, let's go up the road 2 hours type of thing. So, unfortunately, you can't use it like that. Questions? Open topic. Ready? Okay. All right, guys. Glad you're here. Steve, thanks for the question, buddy. I appreciate it. If you guys need me, reach out. If I don't pick up the phone, I absolutely will call you back. Thank you, and have a great week. Love your family. That's all you got. All right, guys. We are out.
I'm dirty jeans and a 4x4, cruising down your front door. I'm a closest pack and a whiskey neat, some dive bar right up the street. I'm a good old boy and a country star. No one else can go this far. Come on, babe, go with me, riding high, living free. Don't ask once and don't think twice, 'cause baby, I'm living the life. I'm a western swing on an old jukebox, a tailgate party in a parking lot. I'm rowdy rough, big and grown, I get it done all on my own. I'm a good old boy and a country star. No one else can go this far. Come on, babe, and go with me, riding high, living free. Don't ask once and don't think twice, 'cause baby, I'm living the life. Ripped up shirt, tractor pulling out in the dirt. Hot cup of coffee with a cigarette, pretty little thing sitting on my